Come on.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to the only podcast produced by three two-time winners of IMSA's Spirit of the Race Award. You're tuned into the Check Engine Podcast. We're hosted on Anchor.fm and streamed worldwide on all those platforms that you use to listen to your favorites. Nick, Andrew, and Tristan are back behind the mics for yet another week. What's happening, fellas?
Oh, damn it! Right off the bat there.
I told you to stay on top of the mute button.
I tried to be ready. It just didn't work. I have a cold. I have an illness. I'm going to be passing away in a wave of mucus. But
and yet you're still here.
If I suddenly duck out at any point, just so everyone knows, I am coughing. But I'm here. I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's go.
He's powering through. That's dedication for you listeners out there. Tristan, I take it you are feeling in better health than Andrew is.
Yes, and in better health than last week on Tuesday. So, and then subsequently Wednesday.
What?
Huh? What?
Oh, it's the same thing I get every week. General
week.
General stomach illness.
You have a weekly do you have it like set on your like a timer and stuff? Like you know when it's coming?
I've got a weekly reminder to be sick on Wednesday.
Wednesday, I'm to barf.
It's being investigated.
There's an episode title too. Wednesday, time to barf.
Nope, I'm sticking with Andrew's Inconvenient Coof.
It is. It shall be, I would imagine. The time to barf sounds like a bad English translation.
Yeah, it does.
That's very true. Well, partly because of that, we're gonna try to motor into some different topics today, just so we can get in, get out, and get Andrew back to healing up. Open episode this week. Just talking about whatever comes to mind. Does anybody have a place to start tonight's conversation?
The last car that I saw today was a matte blue Veloster Rally Edition with a body kit, with a pipe, with a oh damn it, those
your track day car
with rally armors, so that guy is driving the car that I would like to drive, and it looks sick as hell and it sounds really good too.
So we did this track day episode last week. The day after, I found my spec Corvette on Bring a Trailer.
That's
and I sent him the link.
Yes, that's right.
Murdered out, black on black Corvette for sale for it was like $18,000. Like
I think it was definitely under 20.
It wasn't that terrible for a track day Corvette. And then now here Andrew sees the car he described out on the street.
Exactly the same thing. It was crazy.
Tristan, have you seen any R8s lately?
No.
Well, I think this is a sign we designed the right car. You maybe. What have you seen? What cars have you seen that you would drive on the trip?
I saw a whole flock of interesting vehicles.
Do they call them flocks now? Did I miss something?
I do.
I think it's
that's all that matters.
A pack.
Yeah, exactly. It was all together. There was my dad knows better all the years and everything.
Sure.
But there was an SS Camaro, an Alpina BMW, actually.
Hey,
okay.
Those are shockingly uncommon considering what they are just modified BMWs. But and then there was a Ferrari that
Oh,
was
and Ferrari.
yes, it was hold on, let me pull it up here.
Is Alpina? I don't remember. Alpina's not an in-house tuner at BMW, right?
I don't believe so. No. It was yeah, so 69 SS Camaro and a 308 GTB, the
ooh.
of Ferrari flavor. And then the license plate on the Alpina said 007 MI6.
I mean, I guess in the for a couple of the Brosnan films, he did drive BMWs. So
Yeah, I don't know how those all went together.
So I'm just
I
I'm
mean,
just
I
looking
guess
at Alpina real quick. Alpina Burkhardt Bovensiepen GmbH and Co. KG. You know,
sure. I have no idea what you just said.
that is the name of the company. GmbH is German. I don't know what the KG is.
It's basically their version of
Like
uh
incorporated, right?
incorporated. Yeah, yep. And then I know maybe KG stands for something Grupa because AG stands for Auto Grupa. So like Volkswagen is Volkswagen AG, for example. Um, so there must be some kind of group it's part of.
Is it Volkswagen AG GmbH?
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. This is
Oh
great
my
content.
Oh my god! Sorry, this is relevant.
Yeah, what'd you find?
Roughly, I found what the words are, and I'll post it in just a second in the chat. But sorry, I totally
Okay. I'm very excited. But yeah, and it was the like first consistent, relatively long, sunny stretch of days we've had. So like everybody came out, and you know there were all sorts of cars all over the place.
You know, it's funny that you would bring up how nice the weather was because I actually did not see any good cars while the weather was nice.
That's
I
really weird.
saw a there was actually on Saturday, I think. Yeah, Saturday. There was some big car meetup not far from your house.
I believe you. I'm trying to think. I know there are some.
It's
not like
over
cars
by
and
that
coffee.
beer garden thing.
Yeah. And there's
Yeah.
also I forget what they call it. It's not Cars and Coffee because that's like an official company, I think, right?
Now it is or something. Yeah.
But
Yeah, they licensed it.
yeah, like a I don't know, exhaust
Car
and
meetup.
pasta.
Exhaust and pasta.
I don't know.
Exhausta.
Listen, if you have a better one off the top of your head,
I
Not off the
don't.
top of my head, no.
wheels and steaks, and then
Wheels and meals. Wait, that's Meals on Wheels.
Damn
Just
it.
backwards.
Yeah. So I mean,
Dinner with racers. Wait,
Nope,
that's already something too.
that's the one right
that's a copyright infringement.
there.
I can say their name.
True.
Um,
Yeah. No,
the-
but it is the season for good cars. I just haven't seen any yet, particularly.
the local dealership out here by me, Cassandra's, is starting to pull some of their nicer stuff out. Like they have a lot of nice stuff. Like
Sure.
the entire place has nice stuff, but like the top of the top stuff is starting to come out of hibernation in the showroom and go out onto the actual lot, so you can see that from the highway, which is kind of nice. I did see a I don't know if we wanted to call this nice, but interesting, maybe, I guess. I did see my first in-person Lucid Air.
Hey,
Hey,
all
now
right. Let's
we're
hear
now
it.
we're 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Let's do the review.
I mean, it drove past me going the other way. It looked fine. It
Really interesting.
like
I did not think it looked fine.
I mean, there was nothing about it that like stood out. Besides the fact that that's the Lucid.
Oh,
And the
there it
fact that
is.
looked-
Oh,
the
there's
fact that
one.
it looked like a microwave didn't like stand out to you at all.
I didn't think it looked like a microwave.
All right.
I already used my appliance comparison with the Hyundai Ioniq. I'm trying to steer clear of household appliance analogies now for a while. I think I
Fair
used those up. But I saw one of those, and then I also saw my first real life Rivian on the road as well.
Aha, was it?
Yes,
think
I
that
saw
was
my
green, I think,
second.
right?
by Pizza Hut.
Okay.
Drivers need pizza too, Tristan.
Of course.
But hey, I put this up on, I think this one got posted on our Facebook page. Look up Check Engine Podcast to find out for yourself. Did you see that the Lucid CEO got $260 million in 2021 for performance bonuses?
I mean,
what in the actual fuck is he getting? What's his performance bonus? Like, sell a car?
Listen, man, you saw one, so maybe you should have gotten 270.
Better than 0 cars, right? Right?
I guess you got to start somewhere.
His baseline salary happens if they don't sell anything. So think about it.
True. What a deal that would be.
But man, yeah, I'll be Lucid CEO for 260 mil. I'll put a couple cars out there. Okay.
I'm honestly surprised to hear you say that you had no reaction to it, because I really thought it was quite heinous.
Yeah, I did not like it. Strong dislike.
Really? I mean, I know,
Yeah.
And Andrew says a lot of things are heinous. That doesn't surprise me, but normally that emotion doesn't come from you, Tristan. So
a lot of cars are ugly. That you keep wanting to make that my problem, but it's just not.
Well, I don't disagree necessarily, but it also doesn't seem to affect me as much as it affects you.
I'd be having opinions, man.
He just lets it go. That's the difference.
I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw it. It zipped by. I'm like, oh look, there's a Lucid.
The front of it looks like the safety strip on a Razor cartridge.
Yeah.
I could see that. But I guess none of it, like, there wasn't anything about it that like stood out. So maybe that's the problem. Like, it just wasn't that memorable. So if you want to call that ugly or heinous, but that's fine. But like, it just wasn't memorable.
Fine.
So
fine.
What's more heinous is that their damn CEO made $250 million last year.
I mean, what can you do? I was gonna do a smooth transition there. Speaking of heinous and ugly and whatever the other thing that you said was that I forgot. Overpaid. We have a game to review that we've put off for
heinous
several
and
weeks.
Heinous and ugly and overpaid
and
overvalued.
Overvalued. Yes.
There you go. Overvalued for the. What did I pay for this? Like $3.99 on Steam.
Yeah, a couple bucks, couple few.
Yes.
And I've already forgotten what it's called, and I have it open on my gaming computer, so I can no longer minimize it to find out what the game is called, because it's programmed that poorly. Not to bury the lead.
Mm-hmm.
It is called Grand Prix Racing Online.
Grand Prix Racing Online. So for those who may not remember, or it's been so long, forgot, as you should have, we decided that we were going to actually put our money where our mouth is. And after a small amount of time, we actually ended up doing it. Pick a game, all three play it, and review it. The game we picked was cheap because we thought that'd be a good place to start. We took a chance on something that was available both on Steam and on PS4. And we got... now, going into this, we had no idea what the game was going to be. And I had no idea that it was genuinely going to be ass.
I mean, I could have guessed for $4, but...
Well, listen, okay. So just for comparison's sake, and this, if we want to do this again with a real game, it will be my argument that there was like a Need for Speed game released in like 2015 or 2016. That's, I think, $6. I've played it a little bit. It's a perfectly reasonable game.
Sure.
Whatever developers and stuff. The point is, I think it's a little unfair to judge a game, a racing game especially, on the fact that the developer is like a small independent studio. There are, Project Cars was that. Remember?
That's not why.
That's not why. But okay, all right. So I think it's only fair to start with the cars in this game.
Yes.
And I have a list, and there was one that I just put 6 question marks. So
so many question marks.
So,
yeah.
All right. This game, is a what's called an asset flip. For those of you who are not gamers, elite level gamers like us, who each platinumed all the Call of Duty games, we should tell you that an asset flip is a game that uses pre-made assets from a store, typically Unity. I believe this does happen to be a Unity game.
It was built in Unity, proclaimed so proudly on the splash screen.
So the track was made by someone else, even the company Unity. All the cars are pre-made assets, and then the developer just puts them all together. And in this case, didn't even bother with the twine, just kind of stuffed them in the same box and released it as a game. Now, this means that the cars in it are somewhat recognizable, but not really. And so here's what I have. There's a silver 2-door coupe. That's clearly the McLaren Mercedes SLR.
Yes. Yep, SLR. The next one, my guess was, and Andrew, you guys keep me honest on this, it was a red 2-door.
Yep.
I'm looking at it right now on my other screen. RX-7?
I think RX-7.
Yeah. I think it's a Mazda RX-7. Tristan, you want to take a shot at the next one? It might be easy.
I don't have them all memorized or anything. So,
are you not looking at it?
No, I'm on a different computer.
Okay.
I didn't know we were doing a live playthrough. I'm sorry.
Well, no. I just wanted to go through them because the cars truly are something special. We'll post some screenshots of these because even if you are familiar with asset flips, these are pretty special. So the next one's a green car that's a remake of the Mustang, like right when they brought it back in 2000, whatever that was.
Yeah, like the first year they decided to go back retro.
The next is a very poor GTR.
Which, spoiler alert, was the first car I raced.
Oh, really? Because I would have thought that I would have said that you would have picked this next one, because the next one after the GTR is an even worse version of the LFA.
Oh, you're right. That's right. You actually would have guessed correct. I raced the LFA first and then the GTR.
Yeah, exactly. Then there's another Mustang.
New Mustang.
Yes, correct. Yeah, new Mustang.
Newer Mustang.
Yes, newer.
The one after that, I think, is a Gallardo, right?
Yep.
It's supposed to be a Gallardo.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's the one I drove.
A GT40.
Yep.
A shocking ad, an Enzo clone.
Yes.
Makes an aggressive appearance.
A yellow Enzo.
Yeah, just horrible. The next one, I had no idea. Oh, wait, I just saw it. It's a Lotus.
Oh.
The front got me.
The front is definitely Lotus. I don't know what the back is. It almost looks like C8.
It does, actually.
It's like a Lotus C8 Frankenstein, but the max speed on this one is like super high, which I actually wouldn't think would be a Lotus, but I do see what you're saying on the front end.
We'll come to the stats. I have several theories.
Okay.
So a Lotus, Murcielago.
Yep.
And then Bugatti with a hilariously inaccurate weight. Veyron, by the way.
Yeah, the weight is like the bare minimum. It's like one of the heaviest cars out there.
So here's what I did.
Carbon fiber shell.
It is. I played this game. I played with all the cars, and there's like 2% difference in all of these cars. They all use the exact same engine noise. They shift gears at the exact same time. Shockingly, and a rarity for an asset flip, maybe, or maybe this is how they make the assets now. Each of the cars does have a different interior. However,
yes.
Audio does not work inside the car cam. So
nope.
we forgot to code that part.
Yes, it is dead silent inside the car.
And none of the dials move. I guess that's extra.
And the GPS is just a screenshot.
Correct. Yes.
The arrow doesn't move as you're moving around. And it's like a city street too. It's not the racetrack that you're on.
Right. Of course.
Did you find it weird that you didn't know what track you were driving until you took a lap?
Knew? I couldn't figure it out. I don't think it was based by car. I think it was kind of random. I think I saw 3 different tracks.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw at least one that seemed like maybe like a Tsukuba clone.
Yes. Good point. Yeah, exactly, Tristan. Definitely.
That's a good pull.
But yeah, I don't. There's no track select, is what I was trying to say.
There's no track select and there's no track preview either. So like you hit go,
which
and then you
which one am I
slide up
gonna
on the-
get?
Yeah, and then you start going, and then it's like, where's the turn? Which way is it? Do I need to brake or not? Like you just don't know.
I really struggled to play this game with mouse and keyboard, or with the controller. I should have played it better with mouse and keyboard. But one of the most bizarre things about this game, I mean, the driving mechanics are also pretty appalling. What was happening to me, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I'd just be driving, and the steering was so sensitive that essentially anytime you turn the car at max speed without taking your finger off W, you'd get what you would describe if you're actually driving the car as lift off oversteer, and you would immediately go into a wall.
Yes, 100%. And what's worse is, so when I was playing the game, I never got it to work with a controller, ever.
Oh, shit.
And I only could get it to recognize the bare minimum keyboard configuration. So
Yep.
it was basically set on auto drive.
Mhm.
So I had there was no W. There was just
Really?
your foot was on the accelerator the entire time, and how the game accomplished this for the starting line was to have all the cars 2 feet off the ground. So
Yeah.
so when the green light hit, all the cars would drop
cars
and then
drop.
they'd drive away.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, it does do that. But you know what? It worked with my Logitech controller for sure. And yes, I'm literally playing it right now to see if Tristan was right, and he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cars all start 2 feet off the ground, which is really funny.
And then the dunk, and they drop in, and then they're good to go. And the funniest thing for me, and I don't know if you guys saw this either, I never finished a race.
No.
Oh, I finished races.
Because
I should say I did finish a race, but yeah, continue.
I could only go so far before it would insist I was going the wrong direction.
Yes, that happened to me as well.
And it would reset me back several portions of the track to the last checkpoint or whatever. And I never led a single lap. I never finished a race. And I played it for way too long for either of those things.
That happened to me as well, but not in certain cars. But Tristan, you are exactly right about one thing. And I can't believe I didn't notice this because it does auto drive. I didn't notice that.
I think it's auto gas.
Yeah, I literally didn't
accelerate.
notice that because of just instincts.
The only thing you control is the brake and the steering.
That lends more credence to my theory about this game, actually.
It was left and right arrows, and then it was a space bar was your brake pedal.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
But yeah, you could just let off the brake, and it would just go on its own. But I was able to finish a race. I never got the wrong way thing.
The wrong way thing? You don't get it with certain cars, I think. And I don't know if it's that issue or like a speed issue, but I did finish a couple of races, and in fact...
Did you win?
I did win.
Yeah, congratulations.
I won a couple of them. I think I want to say I won 2 once I switched. I think I was using the orange Mustang. That might be the best car in the game. So here's what happened. I won 2 races, and I was like, hey, I'm feeling pretty good. What's the top leaderboard? And it's only hold on. In the world for this game, global points, the top score is 5,510 points. And you get 250 points per race if you win, which sounds pretty good. I was like, hey, I'm going for number 1. And then on the race results screen, I got 100 points. And I said, fuck you and fuck this. And I never played it since. For no reason at all. It just gives you half the points you're supposed to get.
Sounds about right. Yeah, my score is 250 right now. I played a couple of times, and I really couldn't take it anymore. So for those of you who have played before and know, I'm playing this on the same computer that I run my iRacing simulator on. Tristan, thanks for the hookup.
You're welcome, and that's ridiculous.
So the fact that I'm sitting here, you guys can see it here as we are virtual here, but obviously the listeners can't. I got my steering wheel still mounted on my desk here for the iRacing sim. And then
did that work?
No. the complete opposite. The complete opposite with this game in terms of realism and playability and all of
And
it
then
on this.
3 buttons.
And I just can't take it. My brain cannot process how simple it is. I will say though, there's one thing, like, not graphically, but just the layouts. The tracks weren't terrible.
No, whoever made them, not this guy, did like kind of a decent job.
Yeah, the tracks were not bad.
What's also funny is the size of this game when you download and install it.
Oh yeah,
It's like 250 megabytes or something like that. It's crazy. Super small.
Did anybody do the online race, or were you offline only?
I tried to do online. There was never anyone online.
Well, knowing that I could never finish a race.
You had a pretty good shot. All right. Now, would you guys like to know the meta theory of Grand Prix Online?
Yeah, lay it on us.
I can, in one fell swoop, explain every bad thing about this game. And it has something to do with the developer, but more to do about how the game was developed.
Okay, shoot.
Go on.
Bear in mind, there's no like available information about this developer, PixArts. It's probably just one dude. But here's how I know why this game plays the way it does.
Oh, hey, you guys. Sorry, Andrew. I just pulled up the leaderboard. I'm 13th in the world.
Good for you. That's the other thing. After I quit the game,
at 250 points,
I had 250 points as well. After I quit the game, none of the points saved. I have 0. I'm mad. But anyways, all right. So this is my theory about this game. While I was playing it, I was like, God, I know exactly the kind of game that this plays like. And so I went back to the developer page and I was like, yep, that's the reason.
Pretty much.
This game was released on July 30th, 2020, Grand Prix Racing Online. On July 12th, 2020, the developer released another game, and it was another racing game. This game is called Turbo Machines Mini Racing, and it's a third-person, top-down, remote control car racing game. The reason why this game plays the way it does is because he didn't change anything. The only thing he changed was the camera angle.
Work smarter, not harder, Andrew.
Exactly, but that's the reason why
it's two different games.
That's the reason why the turning is the way it is. That's the reason why the cars control the way they do, why they're always on forward. It's 100% because it's all of the same base engine. He didn't change anything.
Hey, more power to him. I wonder
for those keeping score.
Race.
So that was July 30th. Also on July 30th.
Oh shit! It's doing a training lap.
Also on July 30th, he released a game called Off-Road Racing Online, which is again the exact same goddamn thing with the top-down perspective. And they're going, that's a garbage truck there. That's kind of cool, actually. But
I would race a garbage truck 100%.
Yeah,
Forza, get on it.
Drift, Slide, Skid. Off-Road Racing Online is the isometric 3D perspective car racing game that makes racing funnier than ever.
Oh, does it now?
I don't know, because it will not be as fun as... Did you guys ever play the game Mashed?
No.
Oh, it's this fantastic old isometric remote control car racing game, but it has like power-ups in it, like Mario Kart power-ups. So fun.
Ooh, like that.
From the developers of... It's on Steam as well, $4.99. From the developers of... what was that one... That the series of games where you're play it as a demo driver, but you can also like shoot the driver out the front of the car.
I don't remember.
I don't know that game. No.
I'll get back to you on that.
By the way, guys, I'm playing as we talk about it right now.
He is doing a live playthrough.
I'm doing a live playthrough. I'm actually playing, for what it's worth, I'm playing lefty, just because it's easier for me to reach the arrow keys. I just went through an entire lap without hitting the brake once.
Hey, he's getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
My
I say,
lap-
we've got our representative here.
I just turned a 139.72 on whatever track this is.
Around and track, yeah.
Around and track.
I just turned this guy.
So
Yeah, I turned several times around.
But no, he said it like a
spinning.
racing driver. Like
I know,
he's.
I'm
Maybe
joking.
he is taking
I'm
that
joking.
serious. I don't
So
know.
yeah, I'm gonna try to beat. This is live on our show now, trying to beat a 139.72 with my left hand.
I could never finish. I don't think I even completed a single lap because it kept sending me backwards. Be like,
Flat
hey, you're
out,
going the
by the
wrong. You're going the wrong way, and then
Horrible.
puts me
And
back.
by the way, this is with the LFA again.
What's
stop,
funny
won't
too
stop.
is like what's interesting is this game is like let's say like 250 megabytes or whatever,
Yeah,
and
very, very small.
when you consider that original PlayStation games shipped on CD-ROMs, which are like 800 megabytes or something like that at most, you could definitely make this a. You can he could definitely put together a PS1 port if he wanted to.
For sure.
Oh, for sure.
All
right,
the
coming
game
down
series
the
I was
front
thinking of
stretch,
was
boys.
what was that, Nick?
Coming down the front stretch.
Oh,
What's my time?
Flat
What's my
Out
time?
was the game I was thinking of.
128.76, bitches.
Yay!
Yay!
Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know.
I don't know.
Better than his previous one.
That's right.
So,
I'd knock my time out for 10 seconds.
That was very poor game. No one should buy that. But the question is, do we try this again, but try harder?
Same thing again, only harder.
Like same game, but play more, or try a new game?
No. Do we put more effort into it than just searching while we're on the podcast and having the pressure of, making shit content while we're doing it? Do we take some time and find a game that might actually have some value to it?
Sure. So
I want
let's
to play Snaky Bus.
Snaky Bus is great.
So yeah, so what's the parameters then? Is it cost? Is it developer? Like what are we what
Well, I
do
don't know.
we
I mean, we all have gaming computers now, so the options are multitudinous. If you want, I have a huge selection of games already in my Steam library because I own way too many games. I feel like doing something like Burnout Paradise is probably not right because everyone's played that game, or Crazy Taxi. You know what I mean? Like, what are we treading there? I think we should stay away from meme shit. So no Garfield Kart. And I don't know. Well, let's think about this. We won't pick now. We can decide whether we want to do something realistic, something indie. We'll find something.
And we've got to find a way to screen grab or live record as we try it.
Yeah. It was definitely. I'm glad we didn't even put much effort into that for this time because this game was not fucking worth it.
Yeah, that's why I was like waiting to do a lot of my research on this game until I could record it and we could put something together and we could, put it out on video. And I was like, wow, glad I didn't do that.
Not at all worth it.
Was anybody surprised though? Let's be real. Like how bad it was.
There's always a chance, right? Like I said, I've got a Steam library of nearly 1,000 games, and I've played not that many of them. However, of the games that I have actually played, there are things that have been like genuine thrills or hidden gems that I just never would have expected. And you can't really account for it. You know what I mean? Like there's no pattern to it. Right now I'm playing a game called House Flipper. It's just like one of those weird sim games where you're just like,
you were playing House Flipper. Okay, that was you.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out.
This is my original Steam name. I went back. This is my original Steam name from 15 years ago.
I remember it seemed familiar, but I couldn't remember if it was just someone I hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah, no,
and kind of nostalgic. It was.
Yeah. I was feeling quite nostalgic, so I went back to my original Steam name.
So this is way off topic, but you literally in that game, Andrew, just go flip houses.
I mean, kind of. Essentially, you can you paint walls, throw out trash, build walls. You can design, add furniture.
And
Yeah.
then try to get
Interesting.
more money out of it than you put into it.
Yeah, and then you get more. Yeah, then
Yeah, so you flip houses.
flip the
There you
house.
go.
Yeah, literally.
Anyway, that's not car stuff.
Don't say it like it's that weird. It's not that weird.
No, I'm actually thinking of going and downloading it and trying it, but
It was fun. I like
it's
it.
not it's not what we're about on this podcast. We're not a house flipping game podcast.
Game review podcast. Should we
I
try
mean,
something
car
really weird
review-
like car mechanics simulator? We'll talk about it. No, off air. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. So, I mean, I feel like we should have known though, right? Like, remember when we were reading about it and they were talking about their vehicles? Like,
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, it's not that there weren't giveaways.
I feel like you had some higher hopes going in, or a little more hope than I did.
Well, of course I did, because I am as many Steam games as I have, and as many of them as I have not played, has kept me kind of optimistic about a platform that a lot of people who've played a lot more games than I have absolutely abhor because of the low quality of shit that's on here.
There are some actually really good driving simulators on here. Assetto Corsa Competizione is on here.
That's
that's
where you just race Ferraris, right?
It's the GT World Challenge official game. So it's
Oh,
GT3.
I see.
It's the GT3 simulator. It's actually, I have it for PlayStation, but it's actually really, really, really good.
Oh, we should make Nick play Grid.
Ooh,
The original Grid.
The original Grid. Grid 2 is also really good, though.
I don't know. You and I have waxed poetic about the original Grid so often. I think we gotta get some podcast content out of that.
I am in.
That's strong.
I'll do
contender.
it.
That's a really good. You're gonna hate the driving in it, but because it's like borderline arcadey.
Sure,
But
that's all right though.
You know what it is better than though?
The Grand Prix Online.
Yeah, and he seems really into that. So
That's true. Okay. What
Game
else is
review
going
over.
on? What
what else
other
is
car
happening?
stuff we got?
Not a ton. The F1 race happened in Miami.
It did, and the one thing I was really annoyed by the coverage pre and post, so I completely stopped paying attention. I was so sick of half of the camper. Oh, look at all these celebrities. Half the camper. Oh, the celebrities don't belong there. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Can we
Like
add
the
the
weird-
DJ
on
Khaled showed
on
up in the McLaren
racetrack?
pits, and people are like, DJ Khaled. I'm like, yeah, why would he be in Miami where he lives? What are you talking about? Like, what are we doing? Like, why would he be there? Stop.
why would you find us at Road America? Good
I
lord.
know. It's just stupid. Like, whatever.
Did you see where Martin Brundle on his grid walk he mistook Paolo Banchero, who's going into the NBA draft, for Patrick Mahomes.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was walking down the grid and he made a point of like looking for celebrities. He's like, I want to find a celebrity to talk to because it went so well in Austin, if you remember back to last October.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
And then he passed by plenty, like who he probably didn't recognize. He saw Paolo Banchero and it was like, Patrick, blah, 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 something, Miami. And he just goes, I'm not Patrick.
The only way to answer that, though, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it was funny.
Oh my god. You guys, from 2 weeks ago, I can't believe I forgot to talk about this before. We need to talk about the live action Hot Wheels movie.
Oh, right.
Do we?
That's coming out.
We actually don't. However,
I thought they've
Porsche
been
and
making that
Audi
for
have decided to
years.
join Formula One. I mean, that's kind of exciting, right?
Yes. I think it's exciting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tristan, your thoughts?
Excitement.
Thank you.
That's all I have
Great,
to say
moving
about
right
that. Finally, a reason to really watch.
two new
For me.
engine manufacturers coming in. I'm wondering if anyone's dropping out or who are they going to supply? Because
they're gonna supply Mercedes.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Mercedes obviously has their own. McLaren runs their Mercedes. Red Bull had Honda, but they basically bought Honda out, and now it's just Red Bull Technologies as the engine. So maybe
I
there's
thought
there's like a
I thought
branding opportunity
someone
there.
was. I thought someone was working with them, but I thought it was like maybe the Porsche one was working with Red Bull.
Oh, maybe. Because I'm just wondering, like, obviously Ferrari is going to do their own thing, and Haas is basically a Ferrari. Alfa Romeo is basically a Ferrari. That'd be funny. An Alfa Romeo Audi.
I mean, clearly someone's in the market. Here's what I will
Or is it
say.
a new team? Are they going to bring in, like, is it going to be their own factory team, like an additional couple of cars? Or maybe there's this rumor of, not even a rumor, like Michael Andretti is trying to start a Formula One team, and he has been really hard for a long time. Maybe this is, he signed a deal with one of these companies, and he's coming in with them.
Could be.
Like,
I
I don't
mean,
know. That's
would
my
they?
question.
I forgot. They'd be targeting next season.
Andretti wants 2024, and it doesn't look like people are letting him.
No one wants to play with him.
For real. Like, the other 10 teams are like, nah, we're not going to sign off on this.
I mean, why? Like,
it dilutes their share of the revenue.
But he's got all the racing success in the world, literally in the world.
F1 is for as weird as it sounds, because they are the most popular form of racing in the world. They are on a crazy growth spurt right now. The revenues are pouring in like they never have, and these 10 current teams don't want to give it up.
I know, and that does make some level of sense, but like Andretti's trophy room has a trophy room. Like there's not enough space.
He has a trophy for best trophy room. He puts that in his other trophy room.
If you haven't seen pictures of this, folks, like usually like every Christmas, he puts a giant Christmas tree in his trophy room, and it's literally the loot and the trophies and the helmets are spilling out like giant dragon vaults onto the floor of his palatial wing that he has just for trophies. He literally didn't build it big enough, and it's bigger than my home.
Yeah. I mean, it would do everybody really, really good. It would obviously be, I mean, that's the next, thing for the popularity in America. You had Drive to Survive, get it to this level. People in America already know who Andretti is. So if that lands and it goes through, now it takes that to the next level, at least in terms of popularity in America. Did you see that the viewership for the Miami race was very, very close to the NASCAR race? It's the first time in forever. Yeah. The peak Miami live audience on television was like 2.1 million, and the peak NASCAR audience was like 2.4 or 5. So it's like the first time anyone's come anywhere close to a NASCAR rating in America in forever. Like there's a movement happening for Formula One in the United States, and Andretti, like, it's the perfect time for him to get in if they would just let him in. And he wants to base the team in the States. He doesn't want to have he'll have a European operations, but like he wants to base the team here and not in England or Italy or anywhere else.
Do you think this is a reaction of people pushing back as a reaction to Haas though, and Rich Energy and all that bullshit?
I think the problem that people had with Haas is that they thought they were bending the rules of what a constructor is because they used so many parts from the Ferrari part bin. It's like, hey, you didn't build enough of this car yourself. I don't know.
Also, the very public embarrassment of their lead sponsor.
Yeah, that too.
I don't think that's little. I think that's big for F1 people specifically. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's actually a big deal.
And now the whole Ural Kali thing with their former Russian driver.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, all right.
String of bad choices.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like these are two separate issues, though. I feel like
I
one
would
is
agree, and you would think that Andretti would be relatively immune to any Bush League dick stepping.
you would think, but they're the ones in the room with the FIA, so you've got to sell them first. It's amazing the amount of money in that sport. I know we say it all the time, but it's just um, Toto Wolff from Mercedes was like, yeah, the 250 million that he's raised is basically the franchise fee to pay to play. That doesn't go into hiring people. That doesn't go into a shop constructing a car. He said the Andretti and his investor group are probably looking at over $1 billion to get a car to turn a wheel in Formula One. Just to get it rolling out of the garage is about $1 billion up front.
It's just sick.
It's so insane.
Well, I think that's what people were talking about too when it's like, oh, Porsche and Audi are entering. It's like, yeah, but not until like 2026.
And isn't it coming at the expense of their LMDH program? Not Porsches, but Audis. Didn't Audi pull out of LMDH?
I didn't hear that.
I thought it was the other way. Let me see if I can find the thing real quick.
I thought they did. They were pulling out of like the WEC or LMDH program because of their focus on Formula One and just allocating all those resources. I mean, Tristan, how would your opinion change if Audi's F1 entry comes at the expense of their top level endurance program?
I mean, obviously, I prefer the endurance programs, but I think it's a better choice to maybe do F1 as far as like exposure and the marketing value of all of this, which we know is really why they do it, the marketing and engineering value. But
by the way, hold the presses, skirt. I didn't read the automotive news coverage on this before, but I should have, because as you would expect, they have the most information. Audi, this would be insane. Audi is ready to offer around $500 million for British luxury sports car maker McLaren as a means to enter, while Porsche intends to establish a long-term partnership with racing team Red Bull starting in several years.
There you go.
Yeah, I had heard the McLaren thing just in general, that Audi was considering buying McLaren just for their supercar tech and everything else, and then they were like, are they going to spin off the F1 team and not buy that and do whatever? But that would make total sense in that case. Yeah. If that's in fact one of the reasons they're buying McLaren is their ticket into F1. So,
and here's something else, just to maybe add a little fuel to that fire. So McLaren CEO Zach Brown also owns an endurance, an FIA WEC team called United Autosport. They run in the P2 category. They don't have a top prototype yet, but wouldn't it be something if United Autosport just happened to run Audi's FIA WEC program?
Oh gosh! Wow, could that really happen?
Done it.
Do things like this go on? Wow, that all just
it fits together quite nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
So, say what you want about Zach Brown. He's swinging deals.
Yeah, I mean, that would be something. I don't know how it would
They just announced Formula E, too, McLaren.
That is correct. They did. Yes.
Yep. I wonder if they're using Audi's battery technology. Might be worth checking out.
Let's find out. McLaren.
Now Formula we've got the Always Sunny in Philadelphia conspiracy theory backdrop going here.
2023.
Anything about their battery platform?
Oh, now this is quite interesting. McLaren will not be starting from scratch. They will be acquiring the Mercedes EQ Formula E team.
Uh-oh. Well, they run Mercedes engines in F1 now.
Also true.
Interesting.
While run separately to our F1 and IndyCar teams, Formula E complements and builds out our EV racing program alongside Extreme E. E.
So many E's.
That was a meme for those who don't know the E meme from 100 years ago. Well, damn, there goes our theory, our nice, neat theory. Shattered to hell by the Germans. This has never happened before. Hey, is Red Bull screwed, or is Mercedes fucked this year for F1?
Yeah.
They are, right?
Nick, yeah.
Like it's not getting better.
It's not, and
it does not appear to. No,
they're too far behind at this point to, I think, make any significant gains on Ferrari or Red Bull.
I mean, I think so.
It is something to note, though, that the only driver to finish in the top 5 in every single race this year is George Russell. So he is driving the shit out of what is turning out to be not such a great car. Like, he's outpacing his 7-time world champion teammate. So, and how much is Valtteri Bottas loving this, by the way?
And
when he outqualifies them consistently in an Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Have you seen those memes?
I have not. No.
The Bottas meme. So, like, there was this one interview that he did for Mercedes after he won a race, and they have that big board behind him that shows like video highlights. So I remember watching this interview. They asked him to look at the board because it was like some cool pass, and he turned around. He had like the biggest smile on his face. So now they made it a meme where like every race where he outqualifies Mercedes, they put the pylon up, and then it cuts to him looking back with like the biggest smile on his face.
I mean, you love it.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. F1. Did we talk about F1 coming to Vegas on here before? Did we talk about that announcement?
No,
I don't think we have.
So, yeah, US is getting a third race next year. So it'll be running on the actual strip in Las Vegas as part of the racetrack. And they haven't announced a date yet, but rumor has it it's going to be Thanksgiving weekend and the season finale. So they will crown the world champion in Las Vegas and not Yas Marina Abu Dhabi, if this is true.
How much? I mean, can Las Vegas really outbid, the Sheik?
I don't know. It was also announced that Liberty Media just spent, or is in the process of spending, $240 million to buy land east of the strip to build the permanent garages.
Oh shit, they're serious about this.
They are very, very serious.
What's going down in Vegas over the past decade that's making it like the sports hub of the world?
Gambling's allowed.
But this is probably a
sports betting apps. That's
I was gonna say, it's probably a really stupid question to ask. Do sports betting apps really spend that much cash?
Yes.
Oh yes, tons of money.
Did you see how much FanDuel is paying Pat McAfee now to do his internet radio show?
No. How much?
It was like a 5-year deal for like 35 or 40 million a year.
Oh. Hey,
to do a show on YouTube.
Betting podcast now, by the way, if anyone didn't know.
Yeah,
this is a car betting podcast.
We're gonna bet. We're gonna handicap every race now. That's what we're gonna do.
We're gonna give you the lines.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even know where to begin. Genuinely. What the hell? I mean, obviously, right. It was a dumb question to ask, but damn, like they're just gonna have everything.
They're already talking about getting the Oakland A's in, so they're going to steal every pro team from Oakland. They already got the Raiders. They're talking about building a brand new baseball stadium to bring in the A's.
Who are they going to poach for basketball?
Artificial turf, though, it would have to be, because where are they going to get the water?
Well, yeah.
The Grizz?
What's that?
Who are they going to get for basketball?
Legitimately, rumor has it it's going to be an expansion team. What's
the other expansion? They're going to do one team expansion.
I don't know where the other Seattle. I think wants a team really bad. So it might be
They put
Seattle and
Vegas
Vegas.
in the East, or they realign New
They'd probably
Orleans or doing
realign
something that makes some goddamn sense. Realign Minnesota.
Minnesota, New Orleans.
Yeah, that's what makes
But
sense. That actually
Bring
really
back
bothers
the
me, by the way.
Supersonics though.
that's
Oh,
what they're
man.
talking about doing.
I would love that. Those were the best jerseys of all time.
I know. I wasn't even. I was a Bulls fan back in the day, but I still loved that jersey.
And the best logo too. Like, oh
Yeah,
Mhm.
fabulous.
with the Space Needle. It was great.
yeah, so
The-
sick.
So yeah, the rumor is it is an expansion team, and even though T-Mobile Arena is only like 4 years old, they're going to build a new arena for the NBA team.
I mean,
Just unreal. What's going on in Vegas right now?
listen, if this all happens, if there's some, I would love to find a way to, let's see, what would the season be? F1 end of season, like what would you be in? Baseball and football?
No, it would just
And
be football.
basketball?
Football. It would be football and the start of NBA.
Football and the start of NBA. But baseball
Yeah.
would be over?
Baseball usually ends in late October now.
Yeah, say
Right,
this doesn't go into November yet.
Okay.
Yet.
But you would essentially be
Okay.
in a season all 365 days.
Well, of course, but I'm just
Oh,
thinking,
and
like,
they already have the Golden Knights. They have NHL too.
oh, right. Yeah. Hockey, of course.
So they would 365 days a year would be a sport season of some kind in Las Vegas if this all works out.
I'm thinking it would be so cool to go to Vegas, see a race, and then hit some other sporting event. Like just a contrast, because I feel like you wouldn't, I wouldn't have a way to compare a race weekend with another sporting event without literally seeing them in very close proximity with my own eyes, simply because it's such a different quality of energy. Granted, I've never been to F1, so all bets are off. Like that could be like going into the luxury box. You know what I mean?
From what I could tell you, from what I saw qualifying at COTA last year, I was just there on Saturday. I wasn't even there on the race day. It was, for someone who's been fortunate enough to see a lot of races, it was unlike anything you could ever imagine. Like the energy was just unreal. So many people at 10 a.m. for practice, losing their minds whenever Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton drive by. Like you would have thought they had just won the world championship. They're on their pace lap, their warm-up lap.
I mean, that would be kind of cool. I would be very into seeing that.
So, hey, my parents have a place to stay.
That's what I'm saying. If
We
that
got
happens,
easy accommodations.
We wouldn't.
We got to do it.
But the tickets are going to be so outrageous. It might not even be worth it. And airfare. Oh my god.
Well, then maybe that's the price you pay. You know, you get to the city for the event and just kind of deal with the fact that you're probably not going to actually see it, but you'll have to get the atmosphere.
just be there.
I mean, that might be
And
what
we
it
could
comes
always drive there.
In winter, November
here?
through the Rockies.
What do I drive?
Okay, that's fair.
down. Not one of those big Russian tree hauling things.
Nor a Unimog.
Unimog. Thank you. God,
That's
was
the Germans. That's the
I
Germans.
got as far as the letter U, and I couldn't remember the rest.
Oh. So yeah, I actually am keeping a close eye on when Vegas F1 tickets go on sale. There's a few people in my family that are like, we need to go to this.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
I've also had a
that'll be-
request from someone outside the podcast to go to the Miami one next time it comes up. So another thing to keep my ears open for.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, listen,
would-
if they put 2 GPs in the US,
Well, it'll be 3 now because they're not
oh
eliminating.
god,
They're not
Of course.
eliminating COTA. They're still going to Austin.
of course, I forgot about COTA. Damn,
COTA's
man, if they put 3 in the US, like, what are we doing? Like, this is now.
We got to go to Austin and get some Cholula honey chicken, right? Right.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. What's the name of that cafe? Do you remember the name of the restaurant?
I can figure it out shortly, but it's something that ends in X's. I don't know if it's Trixie's, Maxie's, whoever's, but it's
Yeah,
But
we can go
yes.
get the honey chicken, and if you think about it, the U.S. the U.S. the Austin race is now like what 10 years old. That's probably gonna be the cheaper one to go to if you want to go to one.
Sure. Yeah, at this point, that's the old one.
That's the old one. This is not the trendy cool one anymore.
The quaint one.
Yeah.
Oh, you still go to Austin?
Hmm.
I was also very wrong, but it's definitely Trudy's.
Trudy's.
I mean, listen, that's
But I did find it. I found
in
it.
the ballpark.
Trudy's in Austin. Shout out.
Truzies.
Truzies.
Should we wrap up?
Yeah,
now that
we're
we're just
pretty
kind
clearly
of
done.
rambling. Yeah. So let's do that, but let's just remind everybody where to find us on socials. I already mentioned Facebook, but Andrew, where can they find us on Twitter?
Find us at Check Engine Pod. I've just been staying off Twitter because it got so fucking unbearable. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this Elon thing.
This is becoming a bit. Like
It's not becoming a bit. It's actually becoming incredibly serious.
But
he's going to release a privacy coin any day, by the way. But whatever.
But we're forming a bit. I ask you about Twitter, and then you say don't go on Twitter.
It's because people need to know. There are people still using this platform, and I don't know why. It's literally like Tristan sent me a Penny Arcade comic. Web comic has been around for probably 20 years at this point. And the last panel, he's like, I am on Twitter for work. You're saying you could leave and didn't?
Yeah, it's like we have to be there.
So fine, stay off of Twitter. Don't find us on Twitter at Check Engine Pod.
If you are on there, you should follow us, and then you should close.
If you also have to be there for work,
exactly,
come visit us and take your mind off how terrible the rest of it is.
Yeah, there you go. And if you don't want to do that, Tristan, where can they find us on Instagram?
At Check Engine Pod. But I follow Andrew's advice for Twitter, but for our own Instagram account. So someday that will be remedied. And I know I keep saying that, but someday it will be remedied.
But now we get to go outside again, and there's stuff to see, and COVID's
yes,
over.
There are cars and people and things to do, things to see, people to do.
I was just gonna say I knew it was coming. So be sure to follow, share, post, DM, reach out how and when you can. You can ask us questions to answer on the show. Let us know what you like and dislike. Give us ideas for topics so we don't end up rambling aimlessly like this at the end of shows. Thank you in advance. And also thank you for sticking with us today. We appreciate you listening to us. We also ask that on whatever platform you may be listening to us on, leave us a review, preferably a good one, and or hit that subscribe button. It's free, and you'll get notified of any new content we put out. If you're really, really, really into what we're doing and would like to support us monetarily, maybe so we can get those F1 tickets to Vegas, you have two options for that. You can go to patreon.com/checkenginepodcast or hit the support button on our homepage at Anchor, and that is anchor.fm/checkenginepodcast. Every cent pledged is put toward making this podcast a better experience for you, the listener, and or making our trip to the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix a success.
Yay.
So thank you in advance for that. Who or what are we thanking before we end this episode, guys?
I'll have a weird one. I'll thank my little baby tonight. She was having a rough night. Just baby stuff, just crying, as they do, just being really fussy. My wife had her. I was doing some other stuff, finishing up some work stuff. And I took her and got her calmed down a little bit. And in a couple of minutes, she was just a little bit happier and cooing and making all these little baby noises. And she calmed down for me, and just she wanted to kind of hang out with me. And that made me feel like the most important person in the whole universe. So
well, that
was good.
Don't ever forget that you are to her.
Yeah, that was good.
8 months? 9 months?
Almost 9. Steaming towards 9 months. 10 days till 9 months old.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's awesome. Tristan?
I don't have anything quite as touching, but but on the topic of
way to sell it.
more or less dependence. Yesterday marked the culmination of my two dogs and my wife and I going to Manners One at Hawes, and they graduated with flying colors, including my dear distractible boy, my karmic retribution for everything that I did to my parents when I was a kid, as far as attention span goes. Got the most improved trophy. There was not an actual trophy, but it was just a comment from the instructor, saying that she did not expect him to do as well as he did, and he did amazingly well for a big dog, who, in her words, quote, "don't have to do anything. They only do it if they want to." And clearly,
True.
clearly he wants to make you happy, so he's doing it all. So congratulations, my two puppies. The first time for the older dog ever having any kind of obedience class, and obviously the young guy, first time doing a lot of stuff this time around. And it was a great experience. We're going to go on to do other classes, but it was kind of an interesting night. Well done by all the Hawes people, celebrating what for them is, I'm sure, hi, this is my 7,000th dog I've trained. But they really
Sure.
found a way to make it feel special, and that's really where this is going. I thanked them before for dealing with a frankly pretty horrible student the first couple weeks, and to see how they turned that around, and kind of, although it's not special for them, how special they made something as relatively inconsequential as a dog obedience class feel to the people who were there. So shout out to the Humane Animal Welfare Society in Waukesha. If you're not going to donate to our Patreon or our Anchor.fm, you might want to send some money their way. They're doing good work. So thank you.
Awesome. And good job, Kazi. I'm going to shout out one of my competitors in the Tag Masters Championship Series. I hope I pronounced his last name right. I'm going to take a guess at it. So Roman, if I miss this, I'm sorry. Roman Padans. He really good racer, really good dude. Been racing with him in Tag Masters for a couple years now, and he has started vlogging on YouTube, and he just did a really good one about our race weekend up here at Road America just a couple days ago, and he more for the podcast, not necessarily for me, but he got us, he got me, got the cart, got some screen time for Check Engine Podcast on his most recent vlog. So it is up on our Facebook page at Check Engine Podcast. You can go find it there and watch. And also, if you guys listening out there still aren't too in tune with what like actual like kart racing is, he gives some really good insight behind the scenes, and also the GoPros on the cart and his racing footage give you an idea just how fast and sometimes crazy it can get. So it's a really good watch. So good job, Roman. Keep it up. And thanks for giving the podcast some screen time on your latest one.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
And as always, thank you listeners for your continued support. We love hearing from you. We love recording this for you, and we can't wait to speak to you again. Until we do, take care.